Gorgeous Geeks. I'm here today to talk about Underworld Awakening. I was kind of apprehensive to see this movie because I do kind of ship Michael and Celine, and I knew that Scott Speedman was not coming back for this film from everything that I heard. And then I was worried. I'm like, did they kill off his character? Are they writing off his character? What are they going to do? And the more commercials I saw, or the more I found out about the film, it was clear that she was looking for him in the movie, and there's an intense situation going on with her not being able to find him. So I was really kind of freaking out because I really, really am attached to all of these characters in the Underworld series. Story opens up, and you can tell that they have the character Michael there, but I can tell that it is a stunt double. But how it's positioned and angled and everything, it's clear that they're kind of trying to get away with it for the time being. And they're not trying to literally replace the actor. So that made me feel better, but that they kind of made me still kind of jumpy because I'm like, well, they're gonna kill him. But I can say, I don't want to give too much away, but I'm gonna say that they handled it in an appropriate way for whatever the circumstances were that the actor did not return for the film, but they still had an interesting enough story involving his absence and involving other characters that they brought on, and just even set it up for a next film. It's just okay in the end. So that out of the way, I was okay with that dilemma. Now, as far as Celine, she is back and badder than ever. Kate Beckinsale is so fantastic. I know you fanboys probably love her and her little get up, but she's just so completely cool. And motherhood does not slow her down at all. It just gives her something to fight harder for. And she's just really, really awesome. She kind of needs to go to Forks, Washington, and just punch everybody in the face. It maybe except for Emmett, because he's still kind of cool. But she's just so awesome, and it makes you just appreciate, watching the Underworld series makes you appreciate vampires and werewolves and just being hardcore monsters. Speaking of monsters, Celine has a daughter named Eve. She's involved in an accident in the beginning, her and Michael, which explains the time gap. It also explains Michael's absence for the majority of the film. And Eve comes, and you don't know quite what's up with her at first. And then suddenly you see her transform, and she does not quite look like her father. She looks 100 times creepier, and she looks actually like a monster child, like something that would be birthed out of some Japanese remake American film, like The Ring or The Grudge or something. Not that she looked like those characters, but it was just creepy enough to kind of be in those films. I wasn't literally afraid of her, but I was just like, well, dang! Like, kudos to the special effects and the makeup department, because I really like that they took her still in a more visceral form instead of playing it down to be cutesy or something, to look, more beautiful and be deadly like her mother. And they really still took this beastly form with this girl without making it too hideous, but it was still very monster-esque. The war with the humans that they've advertised, you could really feel this big conspiracy playing out, and it's kind of predictable, at least it was for me, as far as where the story ends up. As far as a solid plot line and everything, I did really enjoy it. I thought it was a really good movie. I also thought the new vampire David was really, really attractive in the film, as far as his accent and those blue eyes. And I was worried that they were trying to replace and make him the new male lead of the series. I was kind of warming up to him, but I didn't really want that to be the direction he was going in. He was a great, new character to kind of watch. You do kind of miss, at least I miss Victor, and I miss Lucian, and I know they're gone, I know they're dead. That's just a personal note of I kind of miss them in this series. I don't want them to bring them back. I just kind of miss them, and I'm just throwing that out there. I did see this movie in 3D. I honestly don't know if they offer it not in 3D, because I went to AMC theaters and they only had it in 3D. So, if I could have seen it in 2D, I would have, just because all 3D films that I've seen have really kind of let me down. I mean, I guess since after Avatar, they made Avatar was kind of revolutionary. Everything else was trying to make itself 3D to live up to that standard and actually probably fill their, wallets with more money, because it is more expensive to see a 3D film. And it just hasn't been worth it, at least to me. So I will say that I did like the 3D in this film. I didn't feel like they overdid it at all, but it wasn't too subtle that I'm like, well, that's just ridiculous. Why they even put this in 3D? There are actually moments when, I didn't literally jump myself, but people I was with literally jumped, and you could feel it, but it wasn't too much. So, and since it was a quality film that I enjoyed, I didn't mind paying the extra couple bucks. Now, if the film would have been just terrible, that would have been another story. But I did really enjoy this movie. I'm looking forward to another one. I don't want to let go of this series quite yet, and because they keep coming up with good stories, and I like the characters, and I'm invested into seeing what will happen to them, and I want them overall to have somewhat of a happy ever after. And Evolution left you with this hope at the end of the film, that they could start out a new life, Michael and Celine, since she could walk in the day, and he could obviously walk in the day, and there are these two souped up, creatures, and it's like, well, what can people do against us against the world kind of vibe. And they introduce this new storyline where everything gets more complicated, and they have more enemies, and so I'm looking forward to seeing a new conclusion where I get that peace again. So, good luck with a 5 if there is a 5. If you like Underworld series, I highly recommend it. It did not let me down. I thought it was a really cool movie. But anyway, this is Christina Barr from the Geeks, signing out.